So what is your relationship with wealth? I've got a new pick a card coming up right after this. Good afternoon, this is Lucky Links. I got some messages from people saying they like the last pick a card I did, so I thought I'd do another one. I was doing some of these last year, and well, it's the topics come up again, so I'll go with it. This one is looking at how wealth, what is your relationship with wealth? And I want you to remember, when it comes to tarot cards, it's very important to remember that tarot cards and oracle cards and cards are just one perspective. There are other perspectives as well. There are other perspectives that can get more deeply into a situation. There are other perspectives that can show you the whole picture. So I just want you guys to remember before we begin that the tarot cards only give one perspective, but we're going to check this perspective today for you guys, and you can see what your relationship with wealth is according to the cards. Now I've got the same, I'm going to use two decks here. I've got the soul cards, and I've got, this is the Wildwood Tarot, and I've the same being, I'm connecting to the same being in both decks. Okay, so those of you who are my students, those of you who have gotten readings from me, the tarot cards are a connecting point to a particular being. And as a Tibetan Bond student, I was actually trained in how to actually set it up so I can get a particular being to connect with certain decks. And so this particular being is one that I've worked with for a very long time. I understand her, she understands me, and she's been a very reliable friend over the years. So both cards, both decks are going to be from her perspective. So consider that when you do readings yourself, that multiple decks will usually have multiple beings and multiple perspectives, which may be why sometimes you get conflicting or different views on the situation. Okay. If you'd like to understand or go more deeply into this subject, then contact me, 779-302-8009 or conjurehawk@gmail.com. We can do a crystal mirror, or I can look at your chart, your Tibetan Bond astrological chart, and I can actually work to help you change the situation. So remember, we look at these things so that we can change them, not so that we can just identify with them and then stay stuck. So we're going to do 5 piles, and let me deal the first 1, 2, 3, 4. I got 5 in the first one. I got 2 in the second one. I got 7 in, wow, 7 in the next one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Can you see those? There we go. All right, and then I got 1, 2, 3 in the next one, and then 5 in the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wow, this is getting, these are big. These are bigger than, okay, so there's 1. And I'm actually going to put the soul cards on top of these now. There's 2. There's pile number 3. Pile number 4. What did I say was in 5? 5 was in 5, right? Yeah, because that was an 8 total. 2, 3, 4, 5. Take a deep breath. As I do this, I'm going to come up with the soul cards now to put on top of these. See from 2 angles. Now the soul cards, those of you who've never used the soul cards, they don't have any meanings. Okay, there's the message to start with is be open-minded and forget everything you think you know about wealth. So all of the training and the teachings and all of the stuff that you think you know about wealth, she says, be open-minded about this and be open to new possibilities. Otherwise, you're going to limit the information that you get. Also, when you approach these things with anxiety or worry or wanting a certain outcome, you interfere with what it is. All right? So, here we go. We got 1, I got 2 in 1, 3 in the next one, and number 2. And number 3, I got 4. Wow, there's a lot in that one. I got these 2 stuck together for the next one, and then there's 3 in the well, actually these. Okay. Oh my gosh, I already saw what happened to number 5. I already know what she's saying about number 5. All right. Maybe I should start with 5 then. All right, so take a deep breath, relax yourself, and then pick a number or a pile from 1 to 5. And if you need to stop it, go ahead and stop, but I'm going to jump right in. Pile number 1, your relationship or wealth, or what do you know? What do you need to know about your relationship with wealth? What is your relationship with wealth? What aren't you realizing about your relationship with wealth? Let me see. I'm not sure which I should start with here. All right. I'm trying to get an overall message here rather than just separate these, because I believe that they're going together. All right, so these two. So anyway, like I was saying, those of you who have never worked with the soul cards or don't know the soul cards, they don't have any meanings. You have to go right to the connection with the being. Okay, so I've got the 10 of arrows. There's a lot of cards here. Let me just make sure I see what everything is. There's the wanderer or the fool. I got the mirror here. The vessel of joy. Oh, okay. And then the archer. Wow. There's just a lot to this. Okay. One of the reasons that there is a challenge with wealth is, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this first piece, okay? And in no way when I do this am I judging. I'm just looking for the information to express the information to you guys. So there is a belief that someone is watching over you and taking care of your wealth needs, or taking care of your needs almost like a parent. There is a danger in this, in believing that wealth is that you are owed it. And I'm just going to tell you that watch a danger of believing that you are owed it, or that that's the best way I can say it, that you are owed it, because when you do that, you will take from situations where other people need it and not see it, and you will block the flow of wealth to yourself, okay? Now, in this one is actually coming from advice. There is a need to apprentice in a new area of wealth, because the view that you have of yourself and how you make wealth is outdated. And that will bring the support that you need in order for you to develop the precision and or skill. I don't know if you see these. Okay. The precision and or the skill that you need. So in this case, thinking that it's just going to come to you and that it's owed to you is creating an obstacle, or that it's just you're just gonna open up and the universe is going to give. That may work sometimes, but it seems like it's up and down and not so consistent. So then the message is, this is actually coming with the advice she's giving, which is saying that, you have to apprentice with someone in a new area and in a new direction that is going to change the way that you view yourself and give you the support that you need, and actually open up your enjoyment of your own wealth and treasure, and then give you the skill that you need. Okay, so I think that one was really straightforward, and I'm asking her if she has a second set of meanings for this one. For another group of you, there is a belief that you should close your eyes and just hope for the best, and that doesn't work, because that's hit or miss. There's another group of you for whom inheritance has been your relation to wealth. So you've inherited your views on wealth from those in your ancestors. And there is yet another group who are looking at this one, for whom you should change your view of wealth to look more on it as a case of skill and investing in something much larger than just your immediate pleasure, because that makes it run out and creates obstacles. So I guess there were quite a few for that one. So if you pick number 1, those are the meanings. If you need to watch it again, again, this is one perspective, and there are reasons why these things happen, and reasons why these habits, because these are all habits, develop. And they can be changed. So just know that they can be changed, and there are other perspectives that you can take that are much deeper that will show what the causes of these are, and then what releases you from the habitual patterns. Okay, so that was number 1. She's being it looks like she's being very precise and straightforward, but that's why I like her. She's very practical. So now I got, this one is, if you pick number 2, there's a problem here with the wealth. In that this is about introversion, or going inside about it and not recognizing that you have to use wealth. Wealth comes from connecting with other people and coming out of your shell, and coming from a place of being isolated and introverted and going internal, and recognizing that wealth happens when we connect with other people. And as many who really understand wealth say, that wealth comes when you know how to solve other people's problems or help them solve other people's problems. But also, as someone very wise once told me, the world happens out there, not in here. Now, on the other side of it, it is, I've got creativity and the 10 of vessels, right? Which means that whatever creative vision you're having is staying inside and not getting out. And it can't connect with anyone or anything if it stays inside and doesn't get out. So when you find obstacles or things that come up, they're trying to get you to recognize that this habit is keeping you from actually experiencing the flow of wealth, or the interactions with wealth that you would really prefer. And because of that, it may mean that you may be stuck doing something that you're not liking doing because you're not able to express this externally. So there's a need to be able to express that and get it out in a way that provides something to other people, instead of staying inside, walled up, as an internal vision rather than as something that can help and or connect with other people. Now I'm asking her if there's more. That's one group. Another group, you're rooted in, it feels like you're rooted in fear. That if you move from what you're doing right now, if you stray from what you're doing right now, you're going to lose everything that you've built up. And that lack of belief is keeping you pinned and unable to move. So it's like that. It's like that. For those of you who've seen the tarot card with the 4 of coins, when you hold something really tightly, you can't. It's the story of the dog and the bone. You know, you can't, if you don't let go of the bone, you can't let it, or actually that's not a good fable for that. Is it because he wanted to have everything and hold everything? Well, it kind of is that. You can't receive if you've got your fist closed. How about that? You know, if you've got your fists so tightly closed that you can't receive anything. Well, I got to hold on tightly to everything I got. Well, nothing new can come in. And here's the other thing, and this is coming through in the 10 of vessels here. If you don't replenish and allow new energy to flow into any situation, to a stream or a pool, it becomes stagnant. So what happens while is that no new energy can come in to replenish things or heal things or purify things. And so what you have will hold and rot, I guess is the best way to say it, okay? Is there another image that she has for me? Or so that's the second group of individuals. A second option for people who pick pile number 2. And then there's another group of you that you're in a desert area. You're in an area that's not allowing you, the area itself is not allowing you to be able to get the wealth that you need. And you're staying there for old reasons that no longer serve you. And as you do, it's taking your health, wealth, and everything out of you. And by the way, wealth is so much bigger. And I was curious if that was going to come up here, so maybe I shouldn't say that and see what the other piles say. But wealth is so much bigger than just money and career. There's a lot more to it. So that's another interpretation for those who you're in an area where it's not supporting you and it's actually drying up, and you're going with it because you're clinging to it for old reasons. And then I see she got one more here. Yeah, your vision of wealth is not big enough. You're thinking only, it is that. You're thinking only in terms of career and what I do. You're not thinking about the connections that you make. You're not thinking about who you surround yourself with. You're not thinking about how your ideas and influence it. You have a tiny view, and it's probably a view of, well, I need a job, and then if I get enough pay, I'll get wealthy. But that's never how wealth. People who are really wealthy don't just have a job, and you're limited. I remember years ago, when I first got out of college, I was working at a theater, and in Chicago, a big theater in Chicago, like not a movie theater, a theater with actors and everything. And it was neat because I met a lot of actors that came through, and I got to go to a lot of parties with a lot of actors. They saw me in the box office, and they're like, "Hey, do you want to go to a party?" I'm like, "Sure." So I learned a lot, and I met a lot of cool people. But I realized that this was like a 9-to-5 kind of thing, day in, day out, and I realized I was never going to get more than what my paycheck gave me, and I knew then that was not how I wanted to live my life. So in this case, I think that's appropriate, because I think your idea of wealth is too small and it must get bigger. Okay, so that's 2. I think that's it for number 2. So then I got, if you guys pick pile number 3, let's see what we got here. This was the one with like 1 million cards in it. It was like 7 and 5, I think, or 7 and 4. Okay, so let's see what I got here. And again, these don't have any. So this is. I know what this is already. Okay, so I'm just going to dive right in because she's talking real fast here. Do you your view of like the voices in your head about wealth and about what you can accomplish are limiting your possibilities, and before you ever get a chance to actually make what you want to make or try something new, the voices silence you. Okay, so whose voice is that's telling you you can't, you shouldn't, or you won't? Because that's stopping you from actually letting anything out. And what's happening is it's building up in such a like water breaking against a dam. It's going to pop. It's going to come out here soon. It's going to break. So you've been holding this in, and there's some part of you that wants to do more, but it's all bottled up because the whose voice is that telling you you can't, you shouldn't, you wouldn't, don't do that, don't go that way. What's needed here is it kind of needs to break so that you can actually find a way to heal. And the other thing is too is that you are taking everyone else's responsibility on your back when it's not really your responsibility. And remember that like each person has to be responsible for their own energy. And if we believe that it's our job to, wow, she's giving me a lot here. If we believe it's our job to like manage everything and everyone, it creates obstacles and problems. Because first of all, we deny other people from their ability to actually understand wealth. So I see this a lot with clients. They'll be like, well, I have to take care of my children. I have to take care of my spouse. I have to take care of my parents. And it's like, well, when do they get a chance to actually become prosperous themselves? And if we deny them and we do the things for them, they never get a chance to grow themselves. So another aspect of this, and this may be another group of you, but I still think that it goes along with this stuff here, the voices of, oh, well, it's your job to take care of everyone and everything, and then you're denying other people the ability to become prosperous themselves, and denying them the ability to actually heal their relationship with wealth in a way that allows them to be prosperous. And that really is the nature of prosperity. If we can all prosper, then wow, there's no end to what we can do. This is another group now. There's just a lot going on in this one. Another group, there is a lack of persistence. You start down the road thinking you're going to make a change this time, thinking you're going to do something new, and then something else comes along, and it pulls you in a different direction, or it doesn't happen fast enough, and so you toss it, and then you try something new, and then it creates a condition of like winter. So think about this. Like if you if you started planting seeds and then they didn't grow up in 3 days, and then you dug the whole garden up and then planted something new and then they didn't come up in 3 days and you dug the whole garden, I mean, you're not allowing it to grow, and you're not allowing, you're not investing enough time, persistence, cultivation, and focus in order to allow this thing to grow, and it's not happening fast enough or whatever, for whatever reason, and then you're digging the garden up and they're going, okay, well, I'm going to do something new. So there's a lack of persistence in that case as well, and a lack of focus, and a lack of, so that's another aspect, another group who picked number 2 that applies to. And then there is another one here, and she says go back to this. There is a family. This is the best way I can say it. There's a family curse on this one. The family and the ancestors have had a tricky relationship with wealth, and therefore you are having the tricky relationship with wealth. Now, I'm not going to specify whether it's good or bad. In some cases, it's you are obsessed with money, or you were obsessed with money and how it used to control people or to control situations or whatever, and you have to have it. Or the opposite, they didn't have it and you're struggling with it and don't have it because you're living out the family, what we call the family curse, or the ancestral curse. So that's going on with another group of individuals. And then she says there's one more. You're using it up on things that don't provide actual real wealth to you before it has a chance to grow. So what are you investing in it that really doesn't give you wealth back? Okay, so when your wealth comes in, you're either throwing it away or you're not appreciating it for what it is, and you're using it on things that don't really pay back. Now, don't just think money in that case. If you have this time on your hand and you're not investing it in things that actually produce more wealth for you, well, then you're wasting your wealth. If you are investing in relationships where people don't support you, or they talk about you behind your back, or they tell you you can't do it, you are wasting your wealth. So you're throwing it into something that's not providing wealth back. Okay, I think that's all I've got for number 3. Okay, so we're just going to leave it. We're just going to leave that there. That's number 3. So then if you pick number 4, oh, this is, okay. Oh, wow. All right, and I've seen this one a lot. Okay, so we got those 2. This is the person who is addicted to the struggle. They get addicted to the suffering, they get addicted to the struggle, they get addicted to the worry about it, they get addicted to the I can't, nothing I do breaks through. Or there's another side of it too. I'm pure because I can't make wealth, and wealth is evil, or money is evil, and I'm pure because I don't engage in the evil. The struggle makes me more pure, the struggle makes me more strong, the struggle makes me more. So it's actually a misdirected, misguided sense of power, and how the struggle with it makes you more powerful than someone else who, quote unquote, doesn't have to struggle for it. But the truth is I don't think that's an appropriate view, because I don't think you're assuming that the people who are actually have a better relationship with wealth didn't struggle or didn't break through their struggles with it to get a bigger view of it. So that's one of the things. There is another, in another case, there's a bunch of people around you. So that's one option for those people who pick 4. There's people around you who take it from you before you ever get a chance to do something with it. So you have to consider that wealth is who you surround yourself with, and if the people that you surround yourself with are not supporting it and who are like using it on you and draining you of it, that's a bad relationship or poor relationship with wealth. And then there's another one. In another group, you're not trusting the real skill that you have. So this is a third group in this 4th who picked the 4th. You have a real skill that you could be using to make wealth, but you're doing something else instead because someone or something told you, well, this won't give me wealth, that will. But I'm going to tell you, as things continue here and as people move forward, we're going to see that the stuff that people think I'm already seeing it personally. It's like everything that everyone told me I would never make wealth with was actually the key to everything that helped me make wealth. Creativity, performance, doing this sort of thing, following a spiritual path rather than, another path that people said was more important. It's almost like everything that they told me was a lie, and I see it constantly with my clients. So it's not just, this is the thing that we see. Like what people are saying makes wealth is not necessarily the thing that makes wealth. And in this particular case, those of you who fall into this category have a skill that is that could really make you the wealth, but you're not giving that the discipline or the development to actually dive in and develop that and make the real wealth. Instead, you're struggling doing something else. There is no guarantee, and I said this in another video. I think it was 6 things I learned from being a psychic. There is no guarantee that if you deny who you really are, that you will be happy or you will be successful. So remember that. There is no guarantee that you live the life that someone else wants you to live, and that you deny yourself what would make you happy, what would make you successful. There's no guarantee that will make you, that thing that you do instead will make you successful. You can still fail. You can still fail and be miserable. Or you could go for what you really love, what you're really good at, and then you could keep working at it to get better. But I used to have this when I was teaching. I'd have students come to me and they're like, well, I want to be a writer, or I want to be creative, or I want to be an artist, or whatever. My parents say I have to be a doctor. And I was like, well, you could be a really miserable doctor and you could do a lot of damage to people and get your paycheck, or you could do what you love and cultivate who you really are and be who you really are and have a chance to have a much richer life. Which do you want to do? So just because you become the thing that other people want you to become doesn't mean that you're going to be successful or good at it. You could cause a lot more damage by not being who you really are. Actually, you always do cause more damage by not being who you really are. And I think that that's one of the things that people forget about wealth, is that real wealth comes from being who you really are. And I think a lot of people out there think they're being who they really are, but somewhere in there, those voices saying, "No, you can't do this, you can't do that, you can't do that," and it's moving them around. There's another group of you who just pray and hope for the best, and it's not working. It's just creating a loop of struggle. So that's number 4. Okay, so now we got number 5. Now wait, what was I seeing? I saw something immediately when I. I can't remember it now. Maybe I should have started with number 5. Okay, wait. All right, so we got. Actually, see if you can see these. These are the ones. And again, remember, soul cards don't have meanings. You have to kind of talk right to the being in the deck. Okay, so then I got 8 of Vessels. I got the Hawk, which is the Knight of Arrows, which is the Hawk. And then I got the Moon. I got the Otter. Oh, I see this, and I got Generosity. Okay, some of you actually understand or have figured out that when you're generous, when you play, when you have fun, things seem to magically fall into place for you, and it enlivens you and gives you something. So that's a really good relationship to have there with wealth, and there's contentment that comes from that, and you guys have a deeper understanding of really what makes your generosity, play. That stuff actually makes wealth, and it's going to serve you well. Okay, that's what I'm going to say. So that's a really positive relationship here. And then you have the capacity, and you have seen how other people and their comments, their criticisms, all of that has created nothing but problems for them. And while they continue to struggle, you move on, okay. So that's really cool. So I think that's a really healthy thing. And what could you do to help other people understand that generosity and play actually are an important piece of making wealth? The other side of that is that there are some of you who don't understand that generosity and play, and that when you feel more easy about something, and where you feel more open, and when you're having more fun, you're more likely to draw prosperity than when you're all locked down and you're worried and you're caught in a spiral of, oh, what if, how am I going to do it, what if I lose, that's never works as well as when you're actually enjoying yourself, having fun, and being generous. Okay. There's another one too. There are arguments and fights that are coming out over wealth that are actually, so that was one group, or actually like two groups there. Now there's another group here that this is a message for. Arguments and fights and fighting over wealth is actually taking your vitality and your health, and it's actually stealing your health. And you are going to find out and understand how important health is to wealth. And there's some advice from you. You're going to have to lighten up, even though you don't know what the outcome's going to be, and you're going to have to figure out how to be reborn. You're gonna have to reinvent yourself, because this is actually killing you. Okay? And then there's another group, she says. Another group of you have figured out that there's like when people come together and work together, it makes much more wealth than if you try to struggle all alone. And so on the opposite side of that, there are another group of you who are thinking, I have to do it all alone, when in actuality you need help. The more the merrier, the more boats that, what is it, rising tide, feeds all, or makes all the boats rise. When you work together, you can actually help each other to become more prosperous, and it's really important to recognize that no one does it alone. And there are people out there who believe that oh yeah, I'm going to do it all by myself. No, you can't. You need other people. And the more generous, prosperous, and more fun you have with other people, the more it grows, and the easier it is. There's another group of you on top of it who have an idea that you've been afraid to try. And I'm just going to say that if you try that and you delve into it, it is going to unlock a whole lot for you. But there is another aspect to this. People believe that you have to have everything figured out before you can actually make wealth, and that's not the case. You have to take action and start to take the steps towards it, and then you figure out the other pieces as you move along. Okay? And with that other piece of that, of joining in with other people and getting help, being generous, being playful, and understanding that can all help you get the other steps that you need. So I think there's one more aspect. This is another aspect of health problems have been keeping you from making wealth. What is the connection between your health and your wealth? That is something I would definitely look at more deeply in someone's chart or a crystal mirror or something, because there is a direct correlation between lack of health and lack of wealth that's going on here. And then there's one more thing I think I have to say. There's another thing too, another group of people, you have to realize that wealth comes in cycles like a wave, and that sometimes we expect it to keep coming in constantly, and then that's what we call security. But waves build. And if you understand that, maybe you can be more at peace, understanding that things don't necessarily come constantly, and that there is this belief that security is constant wealth and so much is piled up. No, things that are fluid are more flexible and more healthy than that which just sits and stagnates. Okay? I think there is a real lack of understanding of what creates security out there right now, and as everyone is seeing, it's causing everything to collapse. So I think that's it. I think that's all the information I got for you guys for today. I'm Lucky Links, as always, wishing you success and good fortune in all that you do. Hey, if you guys would like to get a reading from me, or if you guys would like to learn how to read the tarot, or if you want to learn how I did it with the soul cards, I actually use these in my crystal ball scrying class, and I have the students scry off of these before they even got to the crystal ball. So if you'd like to take that class, or a class on how to read tarot, how to read playing cards, how to read Mexican Lotteria, how to read Lenormand, any of those, I can contact me, 779-302-8009, or conjurehope@gmail.com. Also, if you would like to get your Tibetan astrology chart done, there's a wait for them, but it really is worth the wait. Contact me, 779-302-8009. If you want to figure out what the deeper perspective of this is, contact me, and we can look at it either through your chart or through a crystal mirror. Also, if this is hitting you over and over and over again and creating an obstacle, I can do a crystal mirror, and I can actually shove a crystal mirror is a portal. I can see what's going on, who's controlling the situation, what's going on in the situation, what are the elements at work, and then I can shove energy into it to actually provide support or help create change. If you want to do any of these things, contact me 779-302-8009 or conjurehope@gmail.com. You guys have a fantastic rest of your week, and wishing you prosperity and wishing you wealth and health to all of you.